Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is LJ Young. I am the creator of the Sixth Sense channel. I also have another channel called Savings Minus Debt. All right, and that'll if you go subscribe to that channel, or if you like the channel, hit the likes or whatever. It'll give you kind of an idea. Well, it will give you an idea of how this channel became to life. All right. Today, I was thinking about now that I'm awake, that I am connected with the higher version of myself. I'm able to share the timeline of how it happened to me. All right. So one day in probably 2012 or 13, I remember driving home from work one day, and I live in Washington State, and it was daylight savings time, so it got dark really early, about 4 or 5 or something like that, right? Exactly the time I got off work. And I remember thinking to myself that day, I'm like, when I go to work, it's dark, and when I leave work, it's dark. The only time the sun is out is when I'm at work. I remember saying that to myself, and it was really starting to bother me. And one day after work, because I usually go to the gym after work a lot, 2 or 3, 4 days a week, some crazy, stupid nonsense. And I remember pulling into LA Fitness parking lot one day, right? And I remember it was getting dark, and I remember the LA Fitness sign being really, really bright because it was getting dark, but it was still kind of light in the background. One of those kind of, I'm trying to give you guys the picture. And I remember saying to myself, is this going to be the rest of my life? Get up, go to work, go home. Get up, go to work, go home. Get up, go to work, go home. Come here, spend 2-3 hours at the gym, shower up, go back, start the whole thing over every day. I said, and this is what I said to myself in the car. I said, I don't accept that. No, I just don't accept it. Now, I don't know, when I'm saying this, I don't know what it is that I'm not going to accept or whatever, how I was going to change it, because I had only known of a job my whole entire life. Okay. It was the only way to make it in life is a job. That's what I was taught. Unbeknownst to me at that time, God obviously was listening to me, or I was talking to the higher version of myself. Things started going set in motion. All of a sudden I had this uncontrollable desire to get out of debt. I found a guy named Dave Ramsey, who is a popular guy on the YouTube. I found Dave Ramsey. I didn't need none of his programs or I just basically, all he's saying is take the baby steps and a calculator and get out of debt. That's what I heard. And that's exactly what I did. Once I got out of debt, and so you guys can understand, at that time, I freed myself physically, because I didn't know I was a debt slave until I freed myself. You got to understand it, because I had never been debt free in my life. So once I got there, I freed myself. It just felt good. I didn't realize what I had done at that time by getting out of debt. I still didn't. It was still coming to me because this was in my 40s. I'm in my 40s getting out of debt. This was in 2015 is when I completely got out of debt. In 2000, and I had a job at this particular time when I got out of debt, because that was the only way I was going to be able to do it, because I had to have income, right? During that year, from 2015 to 2016, my whole entire view about a job changed. I noticed I was different at work. I really wasn't begging for overtime. I didn't let managers waste my time. I started feeling like normally you just drive up to, I would drive up to work, park, and then I'm gonna be in the building for the next 8 to 9 hours, right? That's normal, right? But once I got out of debt, I started saying things like this to myself: damn, I gotta be in that building for 9 hours with a 1 hour lunch break, and then even during that lunch break, I gotta waste time going to where I need to go to. And it started bothering me. Like after lunch, I wanted to go home. I didn't want to go back to work. And then one day, this is what happened to you. This is what happened for me. I remember one day, because I was a computer engineer for 20 years, okay? So I was an IT engineer, making six figures, by the way. But once I became debt free, I realized something changed, right? I remember going to the window one day as the sun was going down yet again before I left work, but it was a beautiful day, right? And I remember something said to me, it's time for you to quit your job. You hear me? Six figures, everybody's dream job of getting up to this position in the career. And something said, it's time to quit your job. And of course, I'm like, what? Quit my job? It was almost like I was crazy even talking to myself like that. Quit a perfectly no problem job, just quit with no guarantees of nothing afterwards. Okay? Something said, it's time to quit your job. Now, of course, I'm not going to automatically, but the first thing I went to, I was like, how am I going to pay my bills? And it was like, you don't have any bills because your debt is all paid. That's what this is. I now know this is the higher self or God talking to me. You don't have to worry about that because you all your bills, you don't have any debt and you got money in the bank. So there is no excuse to not quit. You hear me? And so this is what happened. So I kind of, at first I didn't really listen to it because I thought that's crazy. You know, why would I quit a perfectly good job, right? When I went to go try to like read the white papers on the software I used to work, VMware is the software I used to work with, right? When I used to go try to read the user manuals and all the stuff that fascinated me in computers, I had absolutely no interest in it at all, no more. It was nothing I could do to retain I would try to read it. It was just not happening. I was like, what? I have to understand this. This is the way I make my money. And so even though when that started happening, I said, okay, I'm going to quit. And guess what happened? And along the way, I want you guys to understand, the devil's along the way too. I want you guys to clearly understand this. He is there. He is never, do not pretend like he doesn't exist, okay? As soon as I decided to quit, during the 2 weeks that I had to wait, because they kept me the whole 2 weeks. I had to put in my 2 weeks and they had me go the whole 2 weeks. During the 2 weeks, T-Mobile reached out to me and offered me $50,000 per year than what I was making here. On top of the six figures, they said, we'll pay you $50,000 more than that. Here I am during the 2 weeks. I'm like, I can't pass that up. So I go over, I said, I'm not going to pass that kind of money up. But guess what? The job was way, way farther away from me. Okay? Way, way farther away from me for the $50,000. So what I did was I said, okay, I'll take that job. 1 month, this is still during 2016, 1 month into it, like every day I was tired, lethargic. Every day I went to that new job just to get there, I would sit down in my computer chair. I could just feel the energy was just all wrong. No, this is not it. During my lunch, I wouldn't even eat lunch because I would go in my car and pass out like I was just till the point to where I had to quit. And as soon as I quit, all of it was lifted off of me. It was all lifted off to me. And I said, okay, that was obviously the right decision. I'm just telling you everything to let me to hear now that tells you that it was the right decision, right? All right, so now I'm starting to get used to breaking the job program, the 40-hour work week program. Credit is everything, and your resume don't have gaps. All that stuff is all program stuff, right? But I don't know that. So it took me I put it this way, it took me about a year of not having any job, not doing anything, just taking a whole year off and doing whatever I want to. It took me about a year to break that program. After I broke the 40-hour work week program, in 2017, I met a narcissist. This is after I freed myself physically. Now it's time to free myself psychologically. But I don't know this at this time. Okay. I don't know any of that. So as I'm free, all I'm thinking is, man, this sure feels good. It'd be nice to share it with somebody, da da da. But I don't know narcissistic people exist. 2017, I ran into a narcissist, the worst of them all. Top notch, violent, take your life, get you in trouble with the police, all that. All, I don't know that because when you meet a narcissist, they make you treat. Now this is the danger for unconscious chosen ones. When you run into a narcissist, they will make you feel like they can see you. And when I say see you, they can clearly see, like they can clearly see that you are there to benefit us both, take off and live happily ever after. No. That first stage is a mirage to suck you in until you fall in love with them, and then they change. Now, I'm just telling you about you guys got to go look up the different stages because I can't really remember them all, but there's different stages that happen. You're high up on a pedestal, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're dog crap under their shoes if you let it get that far. I don't know any of this. I just think, why is this woman treating me like this? Why is she doing and saying things like that? Why is she messing around on me and saying she's sorry, but she keeps doing it? You don't. Now I understand that's the narcissistic fog. You don't. Well, everything that you don't want in a relationship is inside the narcissistic fog, and it's normal. Everything you don't want in a relationship, and they make it seem like it's normal. That means you're in a narcissistic fog. But I don't know I'm in the narcissistic fog. Now let me tell you, now that I'm in it, I don't know who to ask. I don't know anything. It was so bad. She was so violent. My psyche was, I had to, this is what I had to do. I said, God, I need your help. Because I didn't know what was happening. I said, God, I need your help. Next, and I'm gonna just tell you the timeline because I know it now. Next thing you know, my mom, she happens to get out of surgery, and they needed help back home in another state, and I needed to go back home and help my mom for a month. God even had to trick me. He had to trick me, and this is what I mean. So the only thing when I'm going back, the only thing I'm planning when I leave the narcissist, I'm just planning to go go take care of my mother for a month and come back. That's how deep I was. Come right back in it. Okay. Once I got out of the environment of the narcissist, which God did, just as I asked. Once I got back, that's when God told me, he said, I didn't bring you out to send you back. You're here now. I didn't bring you, and I cried like I never cried before. That was called the dark night of the soul. I remember I was sitting in after God told me, he said, hey, I didn't bring you here to send you back. I cried. I was bending over in the chair. It was like God lifted me up and said, and we were both looking at myself crying and said, what are you crying for? I was like, I don't know. Why am I crying? That was the cover over me, the dark night of the soul. That's what he made me believe everything that was acceptable that the narcissist was doing, that was that version of me. I'm not that version no more. All because I listened to the higher version of myself way back in the beginning. And I started it. I know I started it when I said, I don't accept this. Listen, I believe that Monday through Friday, weekends off, all that, retire. Listen, none of it's mathematically true. None of it. I knew when I reached the 6-figure mark and I got the nice place and the car and all this other stuff, I was like, now what? Nothing. I owned nothing, not even myself. And and that was just part of the process. To wake me up psychologically, I had to go through the narcissist person, in order to know that they exist. If that experience didn't happen to me, because I know people that haven't been through narcissistic relationship and they hear these narcissistic stories, they're like, oh my God, that is outrageous. There is no way yes, they do. They do everything you can imagine they do. Yes, they do. and tell you they love you at the same time. They sure will. Sure will. That experience, that experience with the narcissist was part of my journey. I thank God for it because there was no other way to show me or tell me about that. And why is that? Because it was in preparation of the closest narcissist to me my entire life, my sister. My sister, my close. Her and I were like this. All I had, listen, now that I can see, all I had to do, for those of you that might be in this predicament, all you have to do is watch how they live their current life. If it's bad, that is going to be you. You're not special because narcissists care about nobody, not even their own children, not even their own children. You hear me? Being with the narcissist romantically prepared me to quickly identify my sister. But listen, I already knew before she turned on me, I was already watching her current life. I already knew it was bad. It was real bad. Just always talk, man, it was bad. I used to always think, oh, never me. She won't do me. Oh, man. But the narcissist, if God didn't help me prepare with the first narcissist, I probably would have still been like, oh my God, I can't believe my sister was doing this to me. Would she really do that to me? Hey, listen, they don't care about nothing or nobody. Believe that. All you have to do, and I'm going to save you a whole bunch of heartache, people that have relatives like this, your brother, sister, anybody, all you have to do is, if you guys never had a problem, look how they live their life. Watch how they're treating other people, other humans. Then you got to have to get to the layer and say, they wouldn't do that. Yes, they would. My sister and I had never, ever had a fight in our entire 50-year relationship. She's now my ex-sister. She is my ex-sister. Believe that. Never had a fight in our lives, ever. That's why I was in shock for a very long time. I ain't gonna lie. I was in denial. Listen, I was in denial about her being a narcissist. I was like, nah, not my sister. And here I'm on the mic telling everybody, hey, a narcissist can be anybody. Okay, God's like, okay, your turn. You said it. All right, we're gonna see. Now I know. Now I'm here to share with other people so you don't have to, maybe you can get ahead of it. You know how they always say, God can only give you what your brain can handle? Do you think, like, what I know now, at the total end, there was a narcissist by my, listen, the devil had a narcissist right by my side the whole entire time, hoping that he didn't have to use her because she was the last one. She's the last one. She was the last one. The whole time. Hoping that he could probably stop me well before this one because this is the major one. This was the major one. All right, we're here. Totally, listen, the narcissist totally forgets that nobody's stronger than God. The narcissist doesn't know that. I just stood back and let God do his work. He just told me what I needed to do. Do this, listen, do this, do that, do this, do that. You'll get your stuff back, this, that. And guess what happened? Everything. Everything he said, everything. It's called synchronicities. Synchronicities. You better start. Don't call it luck. Don't be like, oh man, that was luck. Oh, that happened twice. I got lucky 3 times. Hey, listen, better stop talking like that. You better start saying synchronicities. Believe that. I'm living proof. Believe that. Believe that. All started because I said, I don't accept this. That's exactly how it started. I didn't know what that meant. I still remember that to this day. I remember pulling in that parking lot, spending 2 and 3 hours in the gym. That's just stupid nonsense, just dumb stuff. Now I understand why LA Fitness and 24-hour fitness is so big. Everybody know why they go there. Everybody does. Everybody does. Including myself back then, for sure. The crazy part about it, when you harness the power of sex, man, it's everybody know it's the biggest addiction in the world, but nobody stops and think, wait, what happens if I harness that power? Nobody thinks like that. No, they don't. No, they don't. Let me see who all's up in here. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Sorry, I wish I could understand what you're saying, man. I can't read it. I can't read it. It looks like Russian. I'm not. I don't do organized religion, there, Ryan. I'm not a that type of guy. What's up, Tina? How you doing? Yes, I do. I do. I read them. I read them. But first, I tell my what I come online for to tell that first, because once it starts flowing, you just want to. I want to be able to say it right the way it's coming. Just about the. It's a beautiful thing, man. It it took me 10 years from 2017. I was with the narcissist for 6 years. Wow, 10 years. God can't tell you, like I was about to say earlier, when God says God only gives you what your mind can handle. God could not tell me back in 2016 that I was going to have an ex sister in 2025. I would have been like, what? How? You can't explain that. My mind wouldn't have been able to handle that. I had to go through stages. I'm here now because if I can teach somebody, showing myself as my own example of the awakening process, just telling you how it is. If I can get somebody to be able to see and understand and keep them from going through what I had to go through to get here, you guys don't understand what you have to go through to get here. This is people don't man. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Believe that. I'd be like, nope. Listen, God can't tell. He could not tell me. He could not tell me what I had to go through to get here, because he said, if he would have said, "Oh, you got to do this, and you got to go through this narcissist. This narcissist, she's going to do this," I would have said no. You got to quit your job. You got to do this and that. What? Quit my job? No. You know how I would have been like, you know how long it took me in my career, how many years I had to climb the corporate ladder, all that stupid stuff would have been running through my brain. Worried about the gap on my resume and all that. Oh man, you just don't even know. Don't even know. But listen, I respect it. Okay, let's just make sure that's clear. I respect it. I respect it. It was hard to break. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was hard to break. Let me tell you another thing that happened to me. I forgot to tell you this part. Make sure it didn't seem like I just quit and it was easy. No, it was like coming off of an addiction or something. Okay. That's the best way I can explain it. So about the first month or two, when I first quit my job back in 2016, I was getting scared because my the gap on my resume, the time. Hey, what you haven't been working for 2, 3 months. What you been doing? All these kind of questions were running through my mind. I was getting nervous, so I started applying for jobs. Do you know not one job called me back, wanted to hire me? Listen, that has never ever happened in my career ever, never. Any job, and I didn't realize this till now. Any job, about not any job, I'm gonna say about in the 90 percentile of jobs that I applied for, I got it. When I wouldn't apply for jobs, even in the interviews, I could always tell if I got it in the interview. And 95% times I was right. It was damn, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, worried about the gap. I was and when I was getting turned down from jobs over and over, at first it was bothering me. But then I said, you know what? Maybe this is listen, I said, maybe instead of getting frustrated, I said just like this, because I was getting frustrated. I was getting nervous. I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? All that stuff ran through my body. But I said, then I stopped and said to myself, maybe I'm not getting the jobs because that's not the direction I'm supposed to go. I was right. As soon as I said that to myself, everything started flowing. The more I was fighting and getting frustrated, understand, just not accepting that maybe that's not the right way to go. That was correct. I was not supposed to get another job. I had to go through this process to deprogram myself from that. Now, here, let me give you an example. Now I understand Saturday and Sunday are not special. They're just days of the week. They're not special. Sometimes I only know that it's a holiday if it's not a major holiday. The only way I'll know if I go to the post office and it's closed. You understand? Or the banks are closed. I'm like, why are they closed today? Oh, it's a holiday. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Walt says, oh, what's up, Walt? Big time LJ narcissists are dominions on. Yes, they are. I'm here to help you now see them now. I can see them. My purpose is to help the people. Like I said, if I can help one person never have to personally experience a narcissist, personal or business. All right, personal or business, because you don't want them in any part of your life, any part. I promise you that, because they will destroy it all. If I can help somebody, especially the younger you are, your life, your perspective of the world will be much, much different than millions of others. Yes. Excuse me. Millions of others. Millions. Your life will be, you will never worry about monthly bills. You will the only goal in life for you will be to create a business so you can own 100% of the time in your life. That'll be your only goal, because there is no other goal. You will only surround yourself with very highly intelligent people. Put it this way: once you awaken, you speak another language. Okay. Now, when I say speak another language, I'm not meaning a language like Chinese or Vietnamese or Spanish. I'm not talking like that. No, I'm not talking like that. I will give you an example. And the only way it's possible for me to show a person or show a person that I speak another language that doesn't know that this language exists, that means the only way I can show you is mathematics. Okay? Because no matter how you feel about math, nobody can have an opinion about math or, math. Put it this way, when it comes to finances, math is God. Okay? Just put it that way. Math is God. And if I show you something on a calculator and you don't believe it, I guess you don't believe God. Okay? Now, say like you're a homeowner with a mortgage. Okay? Open up the calculator and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. Now, as you look at that large negative number on the calculator, I want you to just listen to my voice. You are a loan owner, not a homeowner. They bought you for the price of a house. Equity is positive, not negative. Okay? Now, as you hear me say that, and you still believe you're a homeowner and not a loan owner, you don't believe math. You understand? That is the only way I can show a person that doesn't know another perspective of the world exists. That's the only way I can show you. There is no other way to show the psychological. Math is the only thing that can do that. Nothing else can do that. That's what the beautiful thing about it is. And then once you accept that, and then you'll realize there's a whole different perspective of the world that where people don't listen. People here, we don't fool around on each other and lie to each other and have bad intentions, and all of that is energy. When you have to worry about another person doing that to you, that doesn't exist here in this perspective of the world. That doesn't exist. Even as you hear me say that, you probably think there's no way. I know you believe that, but it's true. You can. This perspective is none of that exists here. When you tell somebody you love them here, you actually love them. You're not saying it just because you're just saying it or because you're family. No, not here. Not in this perspective. Many people don't believe this perspective of the world exists. Not many are here. Not many that I know of. Were people that do that and they physically violent, slap people they love, punch them, whatever. That's a perspective of the world. It's not the world. I promise you it's not. Put it this way, if you're a person that was the victim of like physical violence and you never returned it, and you go away thinking, oh man, it's all men, it's all women. Nope. It's that man and that woman. Okay? Just remember that. If you escape something like that and you walk away, oh, it's all this kind, it's this color. Nope. It's that color person, that color man, woman, whatever. Those individuals. Everybody's not like that. Again, many people don't even realize this perspective of the world exists. It does. I had to free myself physically first. That's what I didn't know that. I had to put 100% trust. I put 100% trust in the unknown. You hear me? People thought I was crazy when I quit my job. You quit a 6-figure job? What you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. What about your retirement? I don't know. I had to, in order for me to do the awakening process, there was no way I could do it while having a job. There was no way it could have been done. My particular journey, the way it went, there was no way I could have had a job to complete that journey process. There's no way. Now, of course, everybody else's journey is going to be different, because once I got to this side, the psychological whatever side, now it was about me, direct people in relationship with me. I had to remove all of these close people and then work on the internal stuff, whatever's left. That's how it works. That's how it works. Once once you're here and you understand that it's a different language, uh, it's easy to see and hear bad people, uh, liars, cheaters. Uh, I mean, think about it this way for the guys. The majority believe all men cheat, right? But that's not true. Okay. Imagine, imagine you being a non-cheater around a bunch of cheaters. You got to hear that every day. You're gonna have one of two choices. They're gonna have to stop being your friend. You're gonna have to leave them. That's not really not a choice, because you're gonna turn. No, it is two. Or you're gonna turn into one of them, believing that it's okay. She'll never catch you. All that stupid nonsense. Once you start awakening, fellas, you can realize you don't have to do what those guys do. You don't listen. You don't have to end up in the court system and child support and all this other. You don't have to do none of that. You could just say, "Hey, no, I don't do that." But instead, they're gonna stop being your friends. I promise you that. It's okay to say, "Hey, listen, man, I don't do that," and be proud when you say it too. If you're a guy and you don't mess around on your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, and you got your friends that do, and they turn to you, "Oh man," hey, you just turn to them and say, "I don't do that." And make sure you're looking at them in the eyes when you say it. Don't be looking around. Just look at them. Each one that says it. It's okay to live in a good perspective. It's okay, man. It's okay. You would put it this way: if you are a man and a woman, and you guys are in a relationship with a perspective like that, your world is totally different than millions of other people's world. They won't even be able to experience the intimacy when you guys are together. They can't experience that. Be proud about it, man. Don't, man, please. Listen, you watch videos, they glorify that stuff. Oh man, I be popping this. So what? So? Do you do that? No, I don't do any of that. Mm-mm. How many girls you hit this week? What? Why would I even discuss that with you? No, I'm not. Oh man, you're this and that. I don't care what you think. That's what I would say today. They got guys scared to say that kind of stuff. Oh man, this is what I got, this and that, and this. You won't be able to be around guys like that. I promise you that. What's up, Chandra? I'm telling you, your life will change forever. I won't accept, listen, I won't even accept any woman that's not here. You understand? She got to be here. She got to be able to speak this language. I'm not accepting anything less. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not teaching. I'm not showing. None of that. None of that. She already has to be here. Do you understand? Oh, what's that mean? I'm not explaining nothing. Why you could, hey, there's millions of other men. Stop talking to me. That's what I would say. Who do you think you are? I'm just me. You want it? No, I don't. No, it don't. It doesn't. Listen, I'll be like, it doesn't control me like that. Sex doesn't control me like that. I control it. That's a power within itself. How many men you think got that power? Not many. Not many. Because you got to do something to get there to understand that. And not many would do that. Not many men would do that task. I promise you that. Awakening is beautiful. I hope something about here, let me put it this way. It's something about the number nine during my whole awakening process. Something about the number nine that has always been something, right? So now, this year, 2025, if you take any number times 2025 and hit the equal sign, and if you add up the digits as separate digits, it'll always be 9. So everything equals 9. This year is a very special year for some. It is a special year. It is most definitely my awakening year. But something about all the numbers times, and this won't happen again to 2034. Okay. In 2016, I forgot to mention this to you. In 2016 is the year I quit my job. Okay. If you add up 2016 as separate digits, it's going to equal 9. You understand? Now, this year of my awakening, if you add the numbers up, it's going to equal 2025 is going to equal 9. Now, those of you that have come across this channel and you might know something about the number 9, please reach out to me. I sure would like to know that answer. Because I now know for a fact the numbers 3, 6, 9 constantly repeat. But number 9 is always the top number. Always. When 9's involved, everything always equals 9 for some odd reason. I don't really think about stuff like that, Ryan. For each their own. I don't really. If a man wanted to do that, I guess that really has nothing to do with me. I live in a perspective that I love. One man, one woman. Don't have to worry about nobody else or some doing behind your back and lying to you, all that stuff. Nope, none of that. I don't worry about what other religions do, whatever. Hey, do they worship God? Do they harm anybody else? Nope. Okay, whatever. I don't really even religion is where I stop. I don't really I will never you guys will never hear me talk about religion. I don't really get into that. Just mainly about just my own. I'm not into organized religion at all. Zero. Never have been ever since I was a child. I just didn't understand or how to express it. Because, as a child, I was just automatically forced into church. Why? But I used to always go, well, I didn't know there were, when I was first started, I thank God my mom took me to church, don't get me wrong. But when I started going to church, I didn't know that all churches were different and different names and stuff. I thought it was just this, and then I got older. I'm like, wait a minute, how many religions are there? Different. Why does that church have a different name? Oh, they think. I'm like, wait a minute. They got different Bibles. That's what I started saying to myself. The word, okay, they think differently about their God. Their God, you get to their God. I'm like, what? And then that's when I just started started opening my mind to more and more and more stuff. But awakening is beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. You know what? I thought to myself too. I was like, no, I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that one for a short. That's gonna be a good short. Yeah, I'm gonna save that one for a short. But anyway, you got anybody with some questions that maybe feeling a certain way? You know, like I said, it's a language, so I'm not expecting everybody to hear the words that I'm saying because most have no idea that this language even exists. Uh, and when I say the language, say like I'm speaking the psychological. Okay, like here, let me give you another example. It only takes one day to buy a car, not 84 months. Okay. Now, the average person, now, if I put that out there, it only takes one day to buy a car, not 84 months. Do you understand there are going to be millions of people that do not understand what I just said? That's the language. And all I did was state a mathematical fact. That's it. I didn't state anything. I didn't state anything fancy. I didn't. I just stated a mathematical fact. That's it. You can't buy it. It really does only take one day to buy a car, not 84 months. See what I'm saying? Chandra says 9 equals completion. 2016, that was very scary to quit my job, but I was told to quit my job, and that was 9. And then 2025, 9. There's a 9-step process. If you look it up, spiritual 9-level process, there's a 9-level process to ascend to the higher self of consciousness. Yes, it is. And when you see and number 9 is not the highest. Number 9 is the start. 1 is the highest. And I forgot how it goes. It's like first you start in the whole. I used to always think like this too. When I was a kid, I was like, when I was a young kid, I used to say, what if God sent us here with a gift? And it was up to us to find it. Now the first thing I thought was it was going to be find it somewhere out in the world. That's the first thing everybody probably thinks. Oh, somewhere out in the world. No, you can't. If I would have just stopped for a moment and said, wait a minute. There is no way I'm going to be able to cover the earth in my lifetime. That's not going to be able to happen. So it had to be inside of me. And I was right. It's here. It's not out there. It's here. It's almost like, duh. All I had to do was stop and think. But society it had me believing that whatever I was looking for was out here already. No, the only thing out there is the same person as you, people wondering and looking. That's what's out there. You know how many people out there just wondering and looking just like you are? Yeah, millions are. It doesn't matter their job. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. It does none of that. None of that matters. They're wondering just like you. It's like, put it this way, it's like today it's like the Matrix movies for me. It's like when they're standing there talking and people are just walking in the background and all that stuff. That's what it feels like now today. The way they just move people like waves. It's crazy when you just watch it. It's like, oh, if they say this or do that, all you guys will move this way like a wave, and then if it's this way, and then it's like think about the TikTok thing. Okay, let me give you a TikTok example. President Trump could have stopped it from getting turned off. He could have just stopped it from happening. Okay. As a, and this is just my opinion. He's already a businessman. He probably said to himself, what an excellent opportunity. Not only, he said, I'm imagining this, okay? This is me, not him, okay? I can look like the savior of TikTok plus get some money from their how much they make or whatever. I'm sure all this was already planned. Okay, it just seems like that to me, right? But what an excellent move to look like the savior of TikTok. And he's like, TikTok makes $1 billion. How about half? Wow. Think about it. TikTok, you want $1 billion or you want nothing? No, you want 500 million or you want nothing? They're going to take 500 million. You understand? He saved TikTok. Oh, congratulations. That's a bad move. That's a bad move. That's nice. That's nice. They're going to work out something. Something's going to get worked out. Believe that. It's going to be big too. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. They're selling phones on eBay for thousands of dollars because it has TikTok installed on it. Do you hear me? You hear me? When you can see, it's respect. I didn't wake up until I didn't break the 40-hour work week program for 40 years until I was in my 40s. In my 40s, you hear me? Reach the 6-figure goal that everybody's goal to do in a career. Let me tell you something. When I think about that now, how long it took me to reach 6 figures, never once did I stop and say to myself, could I reach that goal in a year another way? Instead of taking 9, 10 years to reach the 6-figure mark, is there a way that I could do it in a year or two instead of that many years? No different than what I said about getting the process rolling to ascend, right? All I said was, I just don't accept this. I don't accept believing retirements and age, getting up every single morning, going to a place. Listen, not only the time there at work, but the time that is used to get there that is not paid for nothing, man. When you go, say like it take you an hour to get to work and an hour to get home, if that's no traffic, all that time you're sitting in your car is unpaid. There's nothing you can do about it because you have to get to work. It's like a locked block of time that you have absolutely no control over, none. You don't get paid. You know you're not getting paid for. You're actually spending money during this particular time, but there's nothing you can do about it because you think that because it takes time to get to your job. And once you escape, I didn't realize I had to free myself physically before I could free myself mentally. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it the opposite way. You can probably free yourself mentally and then realize, oh my God, my physical self is not free. And then you just naturally work on that. It could be the opposite way, I'm assuming. Any questions? Well, of course, I'm gonna make this video public once I get it going. Completion. He says, you don't have that problem. Islam because there's only one Quran and it's never been altered. I'm not here to debate religion with you. I'm telling you that learning about Islam will give you. No, I don't. Listen, right? I don't take it that way. I don't want you to think I'm. When you're saying that, I am open to reading other people's religions. I just want to make sure that's clear. I don't say, "Oh, I'm not doing." No, I just want to. Okay, we think this. Okay, let's see what else somebody else thinks or whatever thinks. That's how I look at it. I've always been like that. I've always been able to, even though I never really studied other languages, I've always been able to pick up the dialect. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. So I knew after a while I'd probably end up knowing what the words they're saying because the sounds would repeat, and going by their expression, okay, I could just start making the connections. So if I was immersed in it. I know you've told me that once. I think I'm not. I might look into that. There was only one Quran and it's never been altered. Okay. I will check it out, sir. I will. No doubt. I will do that. I will read about it. I love learning new things. Love it. Well, if there are no more questions, I guess I'm going to call it. Thank you for joining. Ryan Dimma. I wish I could understand what you're saying. I can't read it. I can't read it. I thought, no, I guess they don't have translation, man. That'd be nice if they had the translation. Because I can't do it, can I? Nope. I can't do it. No. All right, you guys have a good one, okay? All right, bye.